so proud to be born here, and the love and beauty that surround us, we share it day by day. That is my country to me. I will not look down. I will always keep my head up high and share with pride and industry.
Beautiful, beautiful Barbados, the gem of the Caribbean Sea. Come back to my island, Barbados. Come back to my island and me.
Every day we always complaining about the way things happening out there, about the rising cost of living and the taxes that we just pay. Like you and I do a little study, then we carry out a survey, and let me show them how we just fool ourselves in this paradise we got here. Take a walk in the back and you will see an old shack badly needing repair, and you might have a little pity for the poor old lady who living in there. And if you stop and ask for some water, also they tell you have a seat on the sofa, and as the carpet tickle your toe, from the kitchen she will shout play the stereo.
It's a paradise, this country that we live in. When we compare with other countries and how them people suffering, things could be worse. We must agree that we Belgians really live in the best country.
Why,
In the Advocate and the Nation, you read about hundreds being shot down. How long they in South Africa, the apartheid system ruled, my brother. About the starving and the dying down in India, people losing their lives in trains. Whilst we Belgians worry about catching a cold, we run to fire, but from the rain. No one
and President-elect of Barbados. Please be seated. Your Excellency, Dame Sandra Mason, Governor General and President-elect of Barbados, the Honorable Mia Amor Motley, Prime Minister of Barbados, the Honorable Lieutenant Colonel Jeffrey Bostick, Minister of Health and Wellness, the Honorable Kirk Humphrey, Minister of Maritime Affairs and the Blue Economy, the Honorable Adrian Ford, Minister of the Environment and National Beautification, the Honorable John King, Minister in the Prime Minister's Office with responsibility for culture and the National Development Commission, the Honorable Wilfred Abrams, Minister of Home Affairs, Information and Public Affairs, Mrs. Elise Jordan, Permanent Secretary in the Prime Minister's Office, Commodore Ayrton Sherlin, Chief of Staff of the Barbados Defense Force, Your Excellency Sir Rodney Williams, Governor General of Antigua and Barbuda, Your Excellency Paula May Weeks, President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, Mr. David Jean-Marie, Chief Executive Officer of the Bridgetown Port, Inc., Mrs. Carol Roberts Reefer, Chief Executive Officer of the National Cultural Foundation, specially invited guests, members of the media, online viewers, beachgoers, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am Sub-Lieutenant Crispin Hackett of the Barbados Coast Guard, and this afternoon represents one of the fine events marking our transition to a republic as we celebrate 55 years of independence. This flotilla parade is titled Barbados Blue, We Salute You, Culture by the Sea. At this time, I would like to now invite to deliver a few remarks the Honorable Kirk Humphrey, Minister of Maritime Affairs and the Blue Economy.
Governor General, Dame Sandra Mason, President-elect, Prime Minister of Barbados, the Honorable Mia Motley, President of Trinidad and Tobago, Sir Her Excellency Paula May Weeks, Governor General of Antigua and Barbuda, His Excellency Sir Rodney Williams, Chief Justice of Barbados, Sir Patterson Cheltenham, members of the Cabinet of Barbados, other members of Parliament, distinguished ladies and gentlemen all, welcome. It is my pleasure to deliver these very brief remarks this afternoon. I deliver these remarks in a number of capacities. One, as a boy who actually learned to swim in the very beautiful blue waters behind us. I deliver these remarks also as a member of Parliament for this particular area. And I have the privilege of delivering these very brief remarks as the Minister of Maritime Affairs and Blue Economy with responsibility for the ocean. There is a poem that I like poetry, but there is a poem by our noted poet, Frank Collymore. And there is a poem he wrote called Hymn to the Sea. And he began by saying, like all who live on small islands, I must always be remembering the sea. And I think he thought that was appropriate because all of us have some relation to the sea, all of us who were here. Many of us, we came here not by choice, but by sea. And we learned as we came that our DNA is strong because only the strongest of the strong survived that journey. Those who were afraid of the unknown, those who could not take the peril, didn't make it, but our DNA is very strong. I also feel that he felt it appropriate because even though our history does not necessarily reflect it, the Indians who were here before used the sea as a major part of their governance processes to go from one part of the island to another, or from one island to another island. We must always be remembering the sea. And therefore, for us in Barbados, it's important that we now treat to the ocean and to give it its due. Not only because we have a ministry responsible for it, but because all that we are doing now is seeking to preserve this very beautiful, almost picturesque space that you were looking at behind me. And I would want to say to you that this space will become very soon a marine managed area as we seek to protect this particular space. But in terms very quickly of our maritime space, what is it that we are seeking to do? In Barbados, we recognize that we must build the architecture of the maritime industry. And in 3 ways, I would quickly explain some of the things we are doing. Firstly, in terms of the technology and administration, there are things that we know must do. The world is changing. Shipping is changing. We know that in Barbados that we have to change with those times. Therefore, we're making adjustments to the things we do as well. One of the things that I think is going to be very important is that we become a lot more friendly with digital information, a lot more respectful of technology, not only in terms of our interdiction for drugs and for guns, but also to capture illegal, unregulated, and unreported fishing. But I also feel in terms of the administration, we will have the opportunity now to hire at least 1,000 persons in this maritime space over the next year and a half as we build out this particular space. Secondly, we must also build our legislative architecture. And the Prime Minister is here and members of the Cabinet, and they would tell you that from time to time, fairly frequently, we are bringing legislation now to update our maritime space. One of the things that has hurt us as a country is that we did not develop in respect of the way the island emerged, and in relation to our history, we did not develop the legislation related to our maritime space. So now we've just put in place, Cabinet has approved legislation that will protect Barbadian seafarers, that will ensure that Barbadian seafarers are protected wherever they go. We've just passed the file, and we're debating it in Parliament now, that would allow us to make shipping a lot more faster as ships come to Barbados, the just-in-time operation, so that we do not idle in ports, we do not waste time in ports, we do not pollute our ports as well. We've just separated our domestic shipping from our international shipping, which is a big deal, and that previously all of this was locked into one and you could not separate it. So we've done a lot in terms of legislation, and then there is still a lot more to do. And then finally, in terms of our actual physical architecture, it is necessary for us in Barbados to be able to build out the maritime space. There are very few spaces in Barbados where you could safely haul out a vessel. But under this administration, so far, we've been working at one on Pile Bay. We'll be starting one very soon in Bridgetown. We are repairing the one in Concept Bay. And in the Ports Master Plan, there is going to not only be a massive haul-out for ships, but a massive boatyard that would allow us to treat to ships that now pass Barbados that can haul out safely in Barbados. They can be cleaned in Barbados. They can be repaired in Barbados, so that we can start thinking seriously about shipbuilding in this country. It is about paying homage to our history in a way that is reflected in everything that we do. And so therefore, if you do not find what I just said to be enthralling and exciting, I trust that as the flotilla passes by, you will find that particularly enthralling and exciting. It is going to be enthralling when you see the beauty and the variety of the ships and the boats that will pass us. And it's going to be exciting thinking about the fun that they're having on board those vessels. So I want to welcome you again to this beautiful space in Carlisle Bay. I want to thank you for being here. I trust that we're going to have a wonderful evening together. And I look forward to the conversations that we will have as a result of this beautiful flotilla that we are all here to witness. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister Humphrey. Well, this afternoon, we will be proudly paying tribute to our maritime sector. And just to let you know, the first wave of the flotilla is actually on its way. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you are in for a treat. And however, since we are by the sea, allow me to first whet your appetite with some entertainment from our brothers and sisters of the Barbados Defense Force Band, who will be playing a medley of selections all based on a sea theme. Under the Director of Music, Captain Brian Cole, let's give a warm welcome to the Barbados Defense Force Band. Was the Barbados Defense Force Band playing a medley of selections, all with a sea theme, as we are here in the beautiful Carlisle Bay. So the first wave of the flotilla represents the water sports industry. And in the background, as we await the arrival of the water sports vessels, you'll see the Schooner Roof. Schooner Roof is the flagship of the Caribbean Sailing Cargo Initiative in collaboration with the University of the West Indies Center for Food Security. Ruth is a 100-ton Grand Banks engineless sail cargo schooner built entirely by Barbados's and Caribbean craftsmen from the keel up on Browns Beach. She was launched into Carlisle Bay 7 years ago this week by Sir Hilary Beckles, Pro Vice Chancellor of the University of the West Indies, as he then was. Schooner Ruth has been leading the pack in the Caribbean to the international return to the use of wind for powering cargo vessels, as recently highlighted at COP26 in Glasgow. Sustainable inter-island shipping in the Eastern Caribbean is specifically aimed at food security, increased regional trade in agricultural and manufactured products, the movement of people, and to promote an end to the use of carbon fuels in shipping and the wider blue economy. Plans are underway to build a fleet of fast, clean, state-of-the-art sailing cargo and passenger trimarans over the next 7 years to serve Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean. Schooner Ruth, in cooperation with the Samuel Jackman Technical Institute, offers seamanship training and a pathway to careers at sea for young Barbadians and Eastern Caribbean nationals. Ladies and gentlemen, the Schooner Ruth. Put your hands together for the Schooner Ruth. As we await the first wave for the flotilla representing the water sports industry, the band of the Barbados Defense Force will march off. Ladies and gentlemen, the Barbados Defense Force Band. Let's give them a round of applause. and that's the Barbados Defense Force Band. As you know, we are situated here in the beautiful Carlisle Bay. What a lovely evening. And Carlisle Bay is situated between Needham's Point and the Deepwater Harbor. Until the Deepwater Harbor was constructed in the late 1950s and early 1960s, this bay was the island's chief marine link with the rest of the world. All, and I mean all, large vessels anchored in the bay, and goods and passengers were ferried in lighters between the ships and Bridgetown. The bay is connected to the Earl of Carlisle and was sometimes called Doncaster Bay during the early period of English settlement because the Earl of Carlisle was also Viscount Doncaster. And just to let you know, the boats are on their way. We'll be here momentarily. We're going to have a total of 4 phases this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go, the first wave of the flotilla. includes the water sports featuring Dive Barbados Blue with Mr. Andre Miller and High Tide Water Sports with Mr. Martin Nosworth and other operators affiliated with hotels around the island. They offer a range of activities such as scuba diving, snorkeling, water skiing, banana boat rides, and much more. Their service adds diversity to the hotel package and are an integral part of our tourism industry. Of note, Barbados Blue also assists with coral reef restoration and recently hosted Dive Fest Barbados 2021. Leading them through is a boat from the Royal Barbados Police Force Marine Unit and an inflatable raiding craft from the Barbados Fire Service. Now we are going to have a display, ladies and gentlemen. Our first display today will be a feature from Tony Babb from Radical Water Sports and Abraham Norval from Fly Dive Barbados. The team of Radical Water Sports, which is a family-oriented business that offers so much more than rides and water skiing. They offer you an experience of safe thrills on the water. It is owned by Tony Babb, a more than 30-year veteran in the business, and today he is displaying a water ski demo. Be sure to book your thrills for your family or special someone. Radical Water Sports. Let's give them a round of applause. Flyboard is represented by Fly Dive Barbados with instructor Abraham Norval. It consists of a jet ski, a hose, a U-bend, and a boot kit, which are all connected, causing the participant to fly, hence known as the Iron Man. This sport can be found along the west coast of Barbados, usually between Mullins Beach and Paynes Bay Beach. So if you want to get high, the legal way of course, be sure to contact Fly Dive Barbados. Wow, what an amazing performance, ladies and gentlemen. Fly Dive Barbados, the first wave of our flotilla this afternoon, representing the water sports industry.
We still here if it's Gabby or Komodo. Haven't tell me that they got something greater. Jackie shoulder inside every song. That rock in a hard place, make a diamond and bim, and that's where it come from. My country to me is my heartbeat. I see the beauty that shine in the dark streaks. It's me here in Barra saying the don't stop. And laughing at the philosophers when them arguing politics in the rum shop. My country to me is pride and industry. Being up late when people sleep. Burning midnight oil, creating a future. Sometimes falling flat on your face, pursuing goals, but getting up with grace, cause the elbow greasy that's put in daily does easy fall. It is dusting off, going again and standing tall. Knowing that victory is in sight, and when the time comes to shine your light, you just get out there and do a great job. Cause you work real hard to get in the spotlight. And somebody in sight can heed the call and keep pushing to pursue their dreams. Whether in personality, profession, or passion, each of we can teach somebody to reach higher, to achieve excellence that can keep me putting map. And for that, we gonna give yourselves a clap. Despite not having the law precious material beneath the surface, each of us in our own right is a national treasure. So my country to me in summary is what we collectively. We small, but we large.
And coming up in our second wave will be the Fisheries Division. And of course, as we know, fishing, the industry continues to contribute to the nutritional, economic, social well-being and food security of all Barbadians, while earning some level of foreign exchange for our country. The fisheries sector is an area of significant economic activity with several types of vibrant small businesses, including harvesting, processing, retailing, wholesaling, distribution, and fish export. And as we await Lady Carmen, there's an estimated 6,200 persons and over 1,000 fishing vessels registered as involved in the fishing industry. However, active vessels yearly range from between 500 to 700. Local fish landings range between approximately 2,000 to 3,500 metric tons annually. From the Fisheries Division this evening, the vessels will include different classes of fishing vessels. We will see a longliner, a cabin cruiser, an ice boat, a Moses, and 2 day boats. And Lady Carmen is approaching.
This paradise that I call home, I'll cherish
And coming across at this time, ladies and gentlemen, is Lady Carmen, longliners. Longliners are typically 44 to 56 feet in length and spend 10 to 15 days at sea. Their catch normally consists of tuna, swordfish, and marlin. Lady Carmen. Following on from Lady Carmen will be the cabin cruisers. Cabin cruisers share similar dimensions to the longliners and catch types as long as the longliners will, and more facilitate the game fishing trips. So the cabin cruisers follow in the longliners, usually before 44 to 56 feet in length.
ain't going nowhere.
Bim,
I ain't going nowhere.
Bim, I love you and I proud. The people want
Additionally,
to
we have the ice boats, which are 36 to 40 feet in length, spend 7 to 10 days at sea, and their catches usually consist of dolphins and kingfish. Day boats, as the name implies, stay out for the day, and these vessels are usually between 20 to 26 feet in length. Flying fish, snappers, and barracuda are their fare.
Citizen, pledge to always stick to my roots for as long as I live. That's my promise to you. Bim can see spring, winter and fall. I can still be here, I ain't left in at all. At all. At all. At all. I ain't left here at all. At all. At all. At all.
I ain't going nowhere.
We education background supposedly strong, but let me tell you, it let enough for me dumb. You point in the sky and you can't get a slice. John said we living in a fool's paradise. The more people immigrate, the more jobs at stake. I can endure just for you sake. I here to stay, rise or fall, I ain't care. I ain't left in this land at all. At all. At all. At all. I ain't left here at all. At all. At all. At all.
I am proud of you.
And following closely behind the fisheries division, we cast our eyes out to the sea. We now will see Barbados 2. Was built 19 years ago in 2002 and is sailing under the Barbados flag. The tug is 30 meters long and 10 meters wide and is crewed by staff from the Barbados Port Inc. This tug has fire capabilities and firefighting capabilities rather, with 2 water and foam high-velocity monitors located on the bridge roof known as the Monkey Island. Each monitor must be individually manned to change direction or range. The main purpose for the tug is used to assist ships into berths that are difficult to fit in on their own and maintain time constraints. In other words, the tug assists the vessel to turn faster or can keep vessels alongside on windy days before mooring lines are secured. And coming up next, representing the Barbados Coast Guard, is the Barbados Coast Guard Offshore Patrol Vessel, HMBS Rudyard Lewis, 42 meters in length and 7 meters broad. Not only does she conduct security patrols, but she has ably assisted in search and rescues and also humanitarian aid and disaster relief operations. Her captain is Lieutenant Coast Guard Anderson Goodridge, Executive Officer Sub-Lieutenant Jamal Crick, Navigation Officer Acting Sub-Lieutenant John Gollop, Coxswain Chief Petty Officer Omar Holligan, Chief Engineer Petty Officer Troy Cumberbatch, and a crew complement of 18. Ladies and gentlemen, the HMBS Rudyard Lewis, the Barbados Coast Guard. Passing directly in front of us now, the HMBS Rudyard Lewis. And one of the major entities which supports the Barbados Coast Guard, if you cast your eyes to the sky as they set up to prepare their passing, the Regional Security System, RSS Air Wing, will be doing a flypast with 2 C-26 aircraft. These turboprop aircraft are eyes for the sky for regional security and also safety of life at sea, having on numerous occasions been able to locate missing persons at sea and hereby aiding in their rescue. Their relatively short startup time also facilitates emergency transport and can easily configure to transport troops or cargo. The planes have a maximum operating altitude of 25,000 and a maximum speed of 246 knots. These planes were donated to the RSS in 1999 under the administration of President Bill Clinton. The RSS wing supports maritime coast guards and drug squads, maritime search and rescue, fisheries control, cruise ship protection, environmental pollution control, logistics support, disaster relief, and medevac flights. The regional security system was created out of a need for collective response to security threats, which were impacting on the stability of the region in the late 80s and in the early 70s. In October 1982, 4 members of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, OECS, namely Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent, and the Grenadines, signed a memorandum of understanding with Barbados to provide for mutual assistance on request. This gave rise to the birth of the RSS. St. Kitts and Nevis became a signatory in February 1984 and Grenada in January 1985. The treaty establishing the RSS was signed in St. George's, Grenada on the 5th of March 1996, replacing the MOU. Keep your eyes to the sky, ladies and gentlemen, as they prepare to make their approach momentarily. The Regional Security System. And if you keep your eyes to the sky, ladies and gentlemen, the approach will be coming from the Hilton Barbados side across Carlisle Bay. Stand by. As we await the regional security system at any time now, we will see the sailboats preparing for their display this evening. Sailing into view, we have a flotilla of boats and sailors from the Barbados Sailing Association, the Barbados Yacht Club, the Barbados Cruising Club, and Set Sail Sailing School. And with the wind coming from the east, the flotilla will sail on a reaching course in a southerly direction through the bay. On passing the end of the esplanade, each boat will perform a tack to port and sail back to the north of the bay. And if you cast your eyes to the sky, the regional security system now passing by. They're making a clean pass at this time. We'll make a circle and then follow on with the landing gear down. That's the regional security system making their turn at this time. The first pass without the landing gear, and the second will be with the landing gear down. And as they continue to come around, we affix our eyes to the Sailing Association of Barbados as they set themselves up, led by Audley Beckles, named after a long-serving boatman, and the Barbados Yacht Club, and used by race committees to run regattas. The boat is flying the Barbados flag on our flagpole at the stern, which is usually used to hoist flags that give instructions to competitors at the start of regattas. And as we can see, the landing gear is down on both planes as the RSS prepares to make their second pass over Carlisle Bay. And if you once again cast your eyes to the sky, they will be coming in for the second leg of their flyby with the landing gear down. The C-26 aircraft. And I'm sure as they pass over the Sailing Association of Barbados, it would make for a beautiful lineup and a beautiful shot. And here we go. The regional security system making their second flyover. Strength through unity. So if we cast our eyes back down to the sea now, where we look at the display being put on by the Association of Barbados, you'll be seeing Lucy, one of the association's smallest dinghies, known as the open skiffs. These dinghies are 9 feet in length and are sailed by 10 to 15-year-olds. Their fast planning hull gives a dynamic sailing experience for a new generation of young sailors. The fleet was purchased with assistance from the Ministry of Maritime Affairs and the Blue Economy to form part of the Sailing Association's pathway to regional and international competition. And the boats have become a favorite with the island's youth sailors. And following on from the open skiffs come the Sunfish. At just under 14 feet in length, the Sunfish was developed in about 1952 and is very popular worldwide. It carries a lateen sail, which is often very colorful, as displayed here. We're also seeing the GP14, and this dinghy carries a jib and spinnaker, as well as a mainsail, and is used for all vessels and levels of sail training. Of great significance is that in 1967, which is Barbados' first year as an independent nation, Jackie Hode and Bill Tempero became the first Barbadians to win a world championship title in any sporting event when they won gold at the GP14 World Championships held that year in Ontario, Canada. The Barbados Sailing Association and Barbados Yacht Club then went on to host the hugely successful GP14 World Championships in Barbados in 2016. The event attracted 104 entries at the time. Also on show will be the Laser Dinghy. The laser hull accommodates interchangeable rigs with different size sails to allow a wide range of sailors to compete. The Laser Standard class, which carries the largest of the sails, was introduced into the Olympics in 1996, and Barbados has been represented twice at the Olympic Games in this class. And the last of the sailboats will be the Squib. With its signature orange sails, the Squib is a small keelboat which is usually crewed by 2 sailors and is used here in Barbados for racing and as an adult training boat.
Sweet Barbados, na 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 na. Oh boy, ha. This is not a bet. This is not an ordinary cupover. 'Cause I never seen so much tourists come here yet to join us for the festival cupover. I can't believe it. How this no regrets. Coming for this festival, come over. Have you never seen a Bajan walk up yet? Come to a festival, come over. I can't believe it, how this place around to the limit. The country full of
And as the Sailing Association gets ready to finish up their display, bringing up the rear will be the Sea Cadets on board the Marinka. The Marinka is approximately 24 feet in length and is the training vessel for the Barbados Sea Cadet Unit. Today, she's under the charge of Sub-Lieutenant Wayne Beckles and Mr. Peter Thompson. The Barbados Sea Cadets on board the Marinka, the Barbados Sailing Association. And coming up next, we're going to have a cultural performance by Mr. Blood and Ronnie D.
Sometimes I would sit on the beach and watch fishermen. Sometimes I would sit on the beach and watch fishermen. Sometimes they sit by the shore with me by and on the way they go to many fishing banks to catch fish without thanks. Bajan fishermen, they will go to fishing banks, catch fish without thanks. Bajan fishermen. Sometimes I would sit on the beach and talk to fishermen. Sometimes I would sit on the beach and I would talk to fishermen. They will tell me stories oh so rare about some monstrous fish that got away. Then they would sail out again in sun or the rain. Bajan fishermen, they would sail out again in sun or the rain. Bajan fishermen. But sometimes I would sit on the beach and I would cry with fishermen. Sometimes I would sit on the beach and I would cry with fishermen. fishermen. Cause sometimes they would fish all night and would not catch one single bite. And they would come home so sad, come home so sad. Bajan fishermen, fishermen, they would come home so sad, come home so sad. Bajan fishermen. But sometimes I would sit on the beach and I would laugh with fishermen, fishermen. Sometimes I would sit on the beach and I would laugh with fishermen, fishermen. Cause they would fish all night, and them fish, they would start to bite. Then they would come home again. Shark and dolphin, these Bajan fishermen, fishermen, they would come home again with flying fish packed to the brim. Bajan fishermen. Thank you.
Put your hands together. That was Blood and Ronnie D. As we continue here this evening, we have another cultural piece. A combination of Is a Vibe Entertainment, Trumpet Boy Entertainment, and Pan Man Events. They're going to create quite a stir with a roving musical rendition. gentlemen, that's our cultural piece, a combination of Is a Vibe Entertainment, Trumpet Boy Entertainment, and Pan Man Events, a roving musical rendition. And of course, as we bring to an end this evening's proceedings, you are reminded that you can go online to watch the live stream for a better experience. And I'm hopeful that you would have enjoyed all on display. Thank you to the Ministry of Maritime Affairs and the Blue Economy, the Barbados Defense Force, the National Cultural Foundation, the National Conservation Commission, and government entities who made today possible. Perhaps we can look forward to making this an annual event. Until next time, I'm Sub-Lieutenant Crispin Hackett of the Barbados Coast Guard. Do have a wonderful evening from beautiful Carlisle Bay.